welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you are new here. If that's the case, my name is Kristen Martin. I am an indie author of 10 books. So I've self-published 10 books over the past 8 years. So since 2015 timeframe. I am also a writing coach. I have writing programs. So I host an accountability program every fall, Write 50K in 30 days. And that's for Preptober and getting ready to write your book if you are participating in NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month. And I also have my larger scale program, writing program, which is called VALIANCE. I am also a mystic, an intuitive, a psychic medium. So really when you put all that together, I bundle that under the title creative entrepreneur because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of facets to what I do. But welcome to my channel. Happy September. And I'm so excited because we are kicking off the fall series of videos. So you can expect over the months of September and October to get the dark autumn with KM content. So that's usually just where we're going Halloween decor shopping and we are decorating for Halloween and the spooky season and talking about just dark autumn things. So like gothic book recommendations, dark academia movie and book recommendations. I don't even know. We'll see what these months ahead have in store for us. And also I am going to be kicking off some writing related content because like I just said, as a writing coach, I like to bring writing videos over the months of September and October if you are planning to write your book in November for NaNoWriMo. So today is the first video that we are doing for the writing series. And I want to talk about how to create a simplistic routine that is going to keep you consistent with your writing. Because if you've watched my previous vlogs, you will know, or you keep up with me on Instagram, you will know that I do have a newborn. So a lot has changed since I started this channel back in 2015 because I was single, I was living in my house over on the lake in Texas and just, you know, had my dogs and my cats. And that was, or not cats, cat, I just had one cat. She's hanging out right there. Anyways, a lot has changed since 2015 because I am now married, I have a family, we have a newborn, and so keeping things as simplistic as possible is a huge thing for me, right? Because time management has been, I'm already very type A, but I also shifted into going more with the flow of things and not being so type A, I guess you could say, like learning to just let go of control a little bit. So I've seen, or I've been on both sides of the spectrum, and now I'm back to kind of this type A personality, but not getting so worked up over the control aspect of things. So the flow state is still there, but I'm like, okay, but we've got time management. I've only got these blocks of time to get my writing in. Because you'll know if you've had a newborn, she runs the show. It's her schedule. My schedule and what I want to do, it doesn't matter. It's all her schedule. If you're wondering where she is, my husband's working from home today, bless. And so he's got a break with his meeting, so he's feeding her and taking care of her. So yay for partners who are supportive and doing the most. Love you, babe. Okay, we're getting into this because you can probably tell I don't want this to seem rushed. So I'll take a breath and slow it down a little bit, but I do only have a certain block of time to film this video. So without further ado, let's get started. How to create a simplistic routine that will keep you consistent with your writing. We're gonna keep it simple and we're gonna go with the 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, why. And there's actually a 6th W, which I'm gonna talk about at the end, which is super exciting. So stay tuned for that. Okay, let's start with who. So the who of your routine is who are you writing for? And for a lot of people, I would hope that you're writing for yourself. But since I've had a newborn, I've started to realize that perhaps I want to, like now that I have my books and I'm writing and publishing my books, it's really neat to think that Ivy is going to be able to read my books as she gets older. Same with the younger kiddos as well, right? Because we have 2 of them. And then the 2 teenagers as well. Like if they want to read my books, they can. That's a really cool motivator, I guess you could say, knowing that one day when, you know, when Ivy grows up, I can say, hey, your mom wrote these books and if you want to read them, you can. If you don't, that's fine. But that's a neat thing. I never really, I didn't have that before because I was single. So I think when you are getting into your writing routine, because the why is really, really important, you have to have a very strong why in order to stay consistent with your writing. But the who is also really important because, again, I would hope that you'd be writing for yourself because it makes you happy and it lights you up, it fills your cup, it brings you joy. That's a huge part of it for me. But there's also now this other layer of, oh, my kids get to read my books one day if they want to. And also like my husband, he gets to read my books as well, right? So when we got together, he read like the entire Shadow Crown series, and I actually just ordered him I ordered 2 proofs of Arcane Haven because yes, I'm in that stage where I get to have the physical book. It's actually arriving today. I'm so excited. But I ordered him a copy of that. So even though it's not fully edited and there's still a ways to go with it, he's gonna have a proof so that he can actually read the physical book as I'm going through and reading through it. But understanding your who in creating a simplistic writing routine that is going to keep you consistent can be very motivating. The second W I want to talk about is what. It's really about setting your intention. So for me, if I am continuing on with a series, like writing now the 6th book and the final book in the Shadow Crown series, I would be reviewing my outline for that book first thing in the morning in terms of just the next scene or the next chapter that I'm going to write. If you don't have a current series that you're working on or an outline, or maybe it's a standalone book or a brand new idea, this is where I would take the time in the morning to brainstorm and to mind map, because I feel like your mind is just the most, you're just fresh in the morning. You have a fresh perspective. It's a fresh set of eyes, fresh ideas. So I really like doing mind mapping and outlining and brainstorming in the morning, which, by the way, I do have a workshop on story mind mapping. If you are interested in that, I will leave it in the description box below. Now, a huge thing for me in staying consistent with my writing routine is that I have to have my outline on my phone. Because in the mornings, I'm usually sitting in bed and I'm feeding Ivy. And so I have this, my right hand is usually holding the bottle and I'm feeding her, but my left hand is free because I have my arm, my elbow propped up. So really the only thing I can hold or do anything with is my phone. Of course, I talk to her while she's feeding and everything, but sometimes she starts to fall asleep and kind of drift off. And when that's the case, I'll take the bottle away and then she usually falls asleep in my arms. So that's when I have my phone and I can go through my outline or look through, like I've been using Notion. Lately, I'm obsessed with it. I'm thinking about doing a Notion tour. It's so great for keeping just everything organized. I'm starting to use it for my YouTube videos as well and keeping track of everything, because again, I love pen and paper so much, but it's so much harder to do that when you have a newborn because you need like multiple hands to do that. So really my phone is this is the one thing that I can use while she's sleeping on me, and I feel like I can still get things done and be productive. So it is imperative that my outline or my mind map, or just I'm starting to move everything into a digital space where I can pull it up on my phone, so that way I can review it if I need to, especially in the mornings. That's when I'm reviewing my outlines, is when I'm feeding her. What that does is it helps prep me for what I'm going to write. It has me thinking about it. It has time to marinate throughout the day. So as I'm doing other things, when I do find that time block to sit down and write, I feel like I'm already prepped for it and ready to go, and it makes the writing session so much easier. The third W is where. Where are you going to write? Are you going to write in your home office? Are you going to write on your lunch break if you work a 9 to 5? Are you going to write at a coffee shop, a cafe, a restaurant, a bookstore, a library? Where are you going to write? Setting that up ahead of time, like knowing where it is you're going to write, is just so helpful, because it takes, what we're trying to do is take the decision making out of the routine. So it's kind of like you make these decisions first thing in the morning, so you know exactly what you're going to do, and then you can just sit down and do it. And you're not having to decide, because I call it decision fatigue. And I feel like with a lot of routines, that's why it's so hard to stay consistent with your routine, because you're having to make a bunch of little decisions, micro decisions throughout the day, and it's hard to keep up with all of those. Then you just end up getting tired and fatigued, and then you don't write. So if you are writing at home, I recommend setting up your space beforehand. So make it really cozy, you know, light a candle. You can see the, oh, it's over here, burning in the background. But I've started decorating my desk for Halloween, so that'll be another video, is kind of giving you a little office/desk tour of all of the Halloween decorations. But make your writing space really inviting and welcoming and cozy. Make it a place where you actually want to write. I suggest having everything charged, like your laptop if you're writing on your laptop, or your iPad, or whatever it is, right? Have it charged, ready to go. If you could have your manuscript pulled up so that way you just open your laptop and there it is, boom, you don't have to like plug anything in. Like if I use a USB, external hard drive, and that can be such a deterrent for me, is like, oh, I have to plug this in, then I have to click on the folder and double click this and find the manuscript. No, like if you just have it pulled up, you open your laptop and you get started. The fourth W is when. So when are you going to write? I used to write the most at night because I know for me that's when I'm the most creative. But now, having a newborn, it's during nap times. So there are other things that I need to do around the house, but what I like to do is figure out what her longest time block usually is going to be. And so I've been keeping track of Ivy's naps in the Baby Tracker app, which is not sponsored or anything, it's just incredible. And that's pretty helpful because it tells me, like, I can pretty much figure out her patterns at this point because she's 2 months old. So I can figure out her patterns, how long she's gonna be sleeping for, and usually what the longest time block is. Sometimes she'll wake up in the middle of the time block, the one that's longer, because she's wet herself and it woke her up, or she's a little bit hungry. But when that happens, that's okay because usually she falls right back asleep and then I can get back to writing. But I like to try to have that uninterrupted time if I can. So usually for me, so it's during nap times. I don't put pressure around like the word count and the targets. It's just whatever words I can get down until she stirs and wakes up, or I have something else that is drawing my attention that I need to go do. But I'm still writing very much at night because that's when my husband is home from work, and so that's when he takes her. And so usually I'm writing in the bed next to him while he's kind of contact napping with her. So we switch on and off, which is wonderful. So I'm able to sit down and get some quality words, uninterrupted writing time in. So usually the time frame is like 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Sometimes that stretches like 10 p.m. to 12:30 to 1 o'clock in the morning, where my husband is contact napping with her. So that is my time to shower, to kind of get ready for bed, to review my outline, to write the words. So there's like a nice long stretch of time for me to do that. And the fifth W is why. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, this is probably the most important of the W's, because understanding why you're writing your book is the thing that is going to keep you consistent. If your why is not strong enough, you're not going to write the book. It really is that simple. So why are you writing this book? Why is it important to you? Why is it a priority? So for me, especially now, with my life being so chaotic and so busy and so full and so wonderful, my writing and writing a book is the one time out of the day where I get to kind of shut off my other personalities, like being a mom and being a wife, and I can just kind of like just be me for a minute. Like I can kind of like shut off from the world and I can immerse myself in a world that I love and characters that I love that I've created. So it's that one time of day for me where I can just be fully invested, just one thing, and it's one thing that I love, which is writing and my story. Whereas throughout the day, I feel like my attention, and you'll know this if you have kids, it's just drawn in so many different, and not even just kids, but like running a household. Like there's so many things that are going on. And so writing for me is that one time where I can just zone in on something that I really love, and it's also something that fills my cup. So writing for me is very fulfilling. It brings me so much joy. It always has, ever since I was 6-7 years old. And when I do write, I notice that I'm a better me because I'm able to show up for everything else in my life when I write, because I'm happy and I've filled my own cup. Okay, so those are the 5 W's when it comes to creating a simplistic routine that's going to keep you consistent with your writing. There's something else that I have implemented that I've created, which I'm so excited about. And I guess it's the 6W, except it's called the Daily Writing Planner. And I can't believe I hadn't created this before, but I think I had just more time before. And so my schedule was my own. Things are different now. So I feel like I do need to plan things out a bit more. So I created a daily writing planner. So I went from feeling all over the place and distracted when it came to my writing to feeling really organized and focused. The Daily Writing Planner is a single worksheet that helps you determine your fixed schedule, your non-negotiables for each day, and then from there, create your time blocks for writing. There's a place to track your progress via word count, chapter, or scene, the amount of time you've spent writing, how you can set yourself up for the day, any distractions to look out for, and there's a section for reflection and that day's writing results as well. Of course, once I created the worksheet and started using it myself and saw so much success with it, I realized that it could help other people too. So if you'd like, you can grab that worksheet over on my website at kristenmartinbooks.com for just $5. You can use the digital version on your iPad if you'd like in GoodNotes, which is something that I really love doing because I can also use GoodNotes on my phone. Or you can print it out daily to use, maybe put it in a binder. You can print out a bunch of different copies, or just on the days where you feel like writing. I even took it a step further to make a physical version in the form of a planner that's available on Amazon. So that has 135 pages and it includes notes pages. So that way you can brainstorm story ideas, character arcs, anything and everything related to your book. You can also use those notes pages to just journal through how you're feeling that day. The Daily Writing Planner is available on Amazon in 4 different colors: beige, sage, blush, and black for just $12.99. That was really a mouthful. So if you do have Amazon Prime, you can expect to receive your planner in just a couple of days. Whether digital or print, this is the #1 tool that I have used to stay consistent with my writing, and that is saying something because I have a newborn. I will make sure to leave the links to both the digital and the print version in the description box below, so make sure you check that out. And that is it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and click that thumbs up button as well as that subscribe button, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.